All right, welcome to the About Us webinar. Thank you for attending, and we would like to take some time to explain what GIS Day is, what the Houston Area GIS Day is, and all the planners that are involved in this event. Hopefully, by the end of the presentation, you will be interested in attending our event and perhaps bring some of your high school students with you. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Nicole Saranik. I'm the GIS manager with Montgomery County, and with me are several team leads for the event and my fellow coordinator, Brooks Andrews. I'm going to go ahead and kind of call your names out if you can say hi. So Brooks.
Hi, thanks for attending. This is Brooks Andrews. I'm with the Houston Galveston Area Council, and I'm a coordinator of the Houston Area GIS Day.
Thanks, Brooks. And Allison.
Hi, I'm Allison Alford. I'm with Altera Central here in Houston, and I am in charge of the Kids Game, specifically the geocaching event for the students and the mobile vehicle.
Thank you, Allison. And Miriam.
Hello, my name is Miriam Salazar, and I am with the City of Sugar Land, and I am in charge of the Geography Beam.
Thank you. And Sarah?
Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah LaRue. I'm with the Harris County Appraisal District, and I'm organizing the academic spotlight. So I'm trying to get students connected with colleges to see what the future holds for GIS for them.
Excellent. And Trevor?
Afternoon, folks. My name is Trevor Surface. I'm with the City of Sugar Land. I'm leading up the team to put together some presentations and the keynote speaker, as well as put together the virtual GIS Day schedule so we can get many different schools to join.
All right, and those are just a few of the team leads and fellow volunteers that have been working tirelessly to make sure GIS Day is a successful event. So I'd like to thank them for joining me today and joining us. And to get things going, I think first it's really important to explain what GIS even is. Geographic Information Systems is GIS, and it's a field that links the where with the what. You may not even know it, but you probably use GIS almost daily. If you're commuting and you're checking with traffic, if you're ordering your food through Uber Eats, all of those are built on a form of GIS. I'm going to go ahead and play this video.
For as long as we've come together, people everywhere have used maps to share what they know, make sense of the world, and navigate the challenges ahead. Now today, that our very existence is threatened, we need to collaborate more than ever. We need a common language to find common ground. Your maps tell stories of how we depend on nature. And though it's fragile, with help, it can flourish. Maps allow people with different backgrounds, expertise, to see what is, and understand what can be. Maps help us see alternatives. find agreement on what's best. Where others see conflict, your maps help find solutions. Maps make clear it's not division, but inclusion that makes us whole. Maps tell us about where we are, who we are, and who we hope to be. We are visual, spatial. Finding our way forward demands a geographic approach that unifies our best technology, science, and design thinking into a common vision. You and your maps are essential for mapping common ground.
I figured that would be a great video to show you because it shows the kind of work that GIS professionals do all around the world across so many industries. You might have noticed or recognized Dr. Jane Goodall, who her organization actually uses GIS for a lot of the work that she does. And GIS in itself has been around for a while, at least the idea of it. And I have a quick history of kind of examples of people using maps and data, combining the two to answer questions. And there are a couple examples, I mean, dating back to the 1830s, where they were mapping out and figuring out not just where cholera was, but they were actually creating these thematic maps to show the density of incidents of sickness to kind of get a better idea of what was happening and where. Now, of course, with computer systems really growing and expanding and kind of the idea of computing systems in the 1960s really revolutionized so many things and brought about so many different types of software. And GIS was one of those things, especially with Esri in the 1980s. They moved from a consultant company that used a GIS software. In the 1980s, they actually changed that and changed to a software specific company where they sold GIS at the commercial level. And, 2000s with the internet and the World Wide Web, of course, the GIS systems adapted and started providing developers and businesses with the ability to publish their interactive maps across the web. And of course, in the 2010s, when smartphones came around and GPS-enabled devices and tablets became so popular, GIS again adapted and expanded to allow mobile workforces to use GIS and to have GIS pretty much in their pocket. So, there's paper maps to basically a digital mapping world is where we're at, and GIS is a great field to get into for your students. It could be a great career path for your students, and that's kind of the purpose of GIS Day. But to dig a little deeper into that, I have some examples of just in the Houston area. The Harris County Office of Emergency Management, they use GIS, especially during major events like hurricanes or power outages due to winter weather, flooding. They actually have a lot of GIS professionals involved in taking in data and displaying it and visualizing it, so emergency responders have the ability to know where to go and what kind of support or what kind of response they need to have and where. And that's all using GIS in some way. The Houston Police Department, they've really expanded how they use GIS to do some kind of predictive analysis and to see where there's areas where they need to kind of focus on in order to help keep the community safe. The city of Sugar Land uses GIS to do all kinds of things, including maintaining city infrastructure, assigning field service calls, and of course, dispatching emergency vehicles as well. And then you have the Port of Houston. You have a ship channel, a major ship channel for the country, and you have all kinds of items coming in and out from across the world. And a lot of those routes and systems are all managed with a GIS system, kind of helping improve performance across the organization. So I don't know if you're getting the idea, but GIS, it's like IT. IT is everywhere. Every organization in every field has some type of information technology. Well, GIS is becoming just as important. My career alone, I was in 3 of the industries here. I started in the military, where I used GIS to help provide information to decision makers on the battlefield. In pipeline, I was a GIS database administrator, and GIS was used to help not only design the pipelines that are being built, but also to talk about land and environmental impacts. GIS was used for all of that. And currently in government, I work for the county right now, and we support 911 dispatch. We support our emergency responders, our law enforcement, and our elected officials with all kinds of GIS products. So it is in very much demand, and the more they see the capabilities of this technology, the better people understand the importance of this. And I'm hoping that you can see that this is a great industry, and it can be found everywhere. And speaking of that, when we're talking about career outlooks, your students, if they get interested in GIS and they start going down that path, they'll see that it provides a good salary. The market is growing and is expected to continue growing because of location-based services being in demand. And more and more people are starting to realize that this location and geographic technology is kind of an important part of our life today. So now that we kind of have a better understanding of what GIS is, let's talk about GIS Day. So in November, there is a geography week. And within that week, we take a day to celebrate GIS. And it's all about celebrating technologies, networking with other GIS professionals around the area, around the world. And our event is actually to introduce GIS to high school students and teachers. That way we kind of bring about the next generation of GeoGeeks. And I wanted to open a site. I don't think it'll share it, will it? Well, I'll provide this link, but it'll show how there's events registered all around the world. Every continent, and I'm talking every continent, has GIS Day celebrations happening this year. And we're lucky enough to have Houston Area GIS Day, which combines all kinds of organizations across the area. We've been doing this, we've been celebrating Houston Area GIS Day since 2001. So I, of course, haven't been involved since that time, but it's been around a while, and we are not showing any signs of slowing down. To start off, so I want to show you every point that you see on the map is actually a location of a school that has attended our events in the past. And like I said, since 2001, we've been hosting GIS Day. And because of COVID, of course, we had to kind of go virtual, which opened opened up an opportunity to link up with other GIS Day organizations around the state of Texas. So we actually did that. We partnered with the Texas GIS Day group. And in the virtual setting in 2020 and 2021, we were actually able to bring in schools and high school student teachers and students from across Texas, including Dallas, Austin, and then a school outside Amarillo. So we have been reaching out and teaching students about GIS for a good while. So who are we? Well, we are the Houston Area GIS Day Planning Committee, and our group kind of falls under and is mostly made up of GIS professionals that belong to the Geographic Data Work Group, which is a group sponsored by the Houston-Galveston Area Council. So as you can see in this graphic, we have all kinds of groups, a lot of local governments. You'll have city, you'll have county. We even have some folks that connect to our meetings from the state level. And of course, we have private organizations that attend and folks that we work directly with, like Altera. But on this call specifically, every single person on this call represents a different organization that happens to be volunteering their time to coordinate this event for your high school students and of course for professionals as well. And in the graphic, I also want to point out that the University of Houston Clear Lake has stepped up this year because that is where we are going to be hosting the Houston Area GIS Day event this year. So here's all the groups that are involved. So with that being said, I kind of want to walk you through a day with Houston Area GIS Day. So the day will start off where you kind of direct or provide information so your bus driver can bring your students, and we have a designated spot for your students to be dropped off. We have folks that are waiting by with all the information and documentation and can provide guidance on where you and your students can be led. And of course, once you get into the building, we'll have a welcome area, and we have all of our volunteers sign in and get their information. And we are always going to be there to every step of the way. Your students will be guided through the event. We'll start the day off and actually kick the day off with a keynote presentation. Every year we've had really great keynote speakers and really engaging information. And I think this year we have another one, and I kind of want to introduce Trevor to talk about our keynote this year.
Thank you, Nicole. Yes, very interestingly enough, we just got confirmation today, not today if you're watching the recording, but that we have secured Eric Berger with Space City Weather to be our keynote speaker. Space City Weather is one of the more up-and-coming weather sites in the Houston area. The two between him and Matt Lanza started, I would say, about 5 years ago or so. Recent workers employed the Houston Chronicle. Their main goal is to kind of share the weather on what's happening without, over exaggerating, but also giving kind of that Houston context. So we're excited to hear about weather and maps and weather, and hopefully, knock on wood, it's not about a hurricane map.
Excellent. So that's great news, and I am looking forward to seeing that keynote. The other events that are happening today, we'll have a geocaching contest, and I don't want to put Allison on the spot, but her and the Altera Central team are big players in this. They provide a geocache prize package, and Allison, I don't want to again put you on the spot, but did you want to provide some details about the geocaching?
Yes, so we're super excited to be back in person. I can't wait to see all the kids and get back into some fun competition. So for those of you that have joined us before, you'll remember we do the competitions amongst the schools, and you'll be competing for a geocache kit for your school to win. So 5 kids will compete from your school. and they will hopefully help your team to win one of those fabulous Garmin units to take back to your classroom. And we'll have other prizes along the way for some stuff, and we play games. The idea is not only to teach the geocaching and the fun of what's all involved, but also to do the team building events, the games that the kids play. And it becomes a lot of fun, and they are super competitive, and I love it. So I can't wait to see everybody back this year. And we're looking forward to it, Nicole.
Excellent. Thank you, Allison. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. And I know we have the University of Houston Clear Lake campus is a beautiful campus, and it provides a good place for this geocaching event or activity. So I'm really excited to see that. Not only will we have a geocaching activity, but we will also have a drone tent set up. And I think Allison or Trevor, did you want to kind of talk about?
Yeah, I can definitely talk on this. So as we've done in our past in-person events, we're going to be bringing a drone out. We'll actually be bringing 3 drones out to kind of show how the city of Sugar Land is using them in the city. I believe our Altera organization that's helping is going to bring some to demo on the private side. This is also going to include drone demonstrations where we will fly and we'll show the thermal camera on a TV monitor so kids can watch themselves in thermal, jump around, jumping jacks, whatever they want to do, about every 30 minutes, depending on the weather. But yeah, it should be very exciting to fly and kind of show that, GIS isn't just about making maps, it's about a lot of field work as well.
Excellent. Very exciting stuff. Now, I should mention that all of the activities are not just for the students. During one of the activities, we would actually like to pull you, the teachers, leaders, principals, directors, we would like to pull you aside and talk to you about how you can use digital maps in your classroom. The Esri software, there is licensing available for public school teachers to use. Things like our organizations, all of us on the call, we actually pay a pretty penny for, but the public education sector has access to the software, and you actually have access to GIS professional volunteers that can actually help you set it up, incorporate things, maybe put some class curriculum together to incorporate GIS actually in your classwork and your studies. But not only that, we also want to talk to you about all the really cool story maps and interactive digital maps that are available just for you to bring in your classrooms to maybe talk about the Civil War and the battlefields, or the expansion or conservation efforts, and all of that deals with geography. And there are a lot of materials available on the internet for free. And we would like to talk to you about that, introduce you to all of this technology, all of these resources. And we will try to do that while the kids are playing games. So we have a new game set up this year, geography-based games, and we're calling it Minute to Map It. So I'll go ahead and introduce Miriam to talk more about that.
Hello. So this year we are doing a Minute to Map It style game. In the past, we've done more of a Jeopardy trivia style setup, but this year we're excited to introduce Minute to Map It, where we'll get the students to engage physically and do minute games and have them think more spatially. So we're doing a thinking locally, city, county, state, get them really thinking about geography and GIS while jumping up and down, moving, and having fun.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that, and I'm sure the students will love it. And we should mention that the day's event will include activities like the Minute to Win It, where students will be able to collect points on behalf of their high school. And with this minute to map it and what I'm going to bring up next, the treasure hunt, points will be collected and counted at the end of the day. And each school will basically be competing for a pizza prize package. So we'll talk more about that at the end. But let me go ahead and move to the treasure hunt and map haul. This is where a lot of GIS professionals will volunteer their time to create some special printed map products that will engage the students by asking them to do some research, look at the map, maybe answer some questions. And we actually encourage them to bring out their phones and do some research that way, which they're always excited to do because they get to bring out their phones, right? And don't know if we have, Brooks, did you want to kind of talk a little bit about this while I scroll through some of the pictures?
Sure. Thanks, Nicole. Yeah, so to piggyback off of that just a bit, you can see through the pictures, we'll have a variety of maps set up for the students to look at. The one that was just up on the last picture was Houston athletes and where they come from. So some of them are just really cool and neat for students to look at, including the points of interest of Harris County here. There are others that are more of a treasure hunt series where the students are allowed to basically use their devices and kind of do a treasure hunt to find what's displayed on the map. There will be someone there collecting, keeping scores or tally of how many questions they get right, and the tally will go to the total point score for the day with the minute to map it contest, and the winning school, like Nicole mentioned, will get a pizza package at a date later on after GIS Day.
Yeah, so that's always fun and engaging for the students. Another thing that we have is outdoors, so weather permitting on some of these things, but we actually invite a bunch of emergency vehicle operators to bring their vehicles to the event because it shows the type of partnerships that a lot of the GIS organizations have, or that a lot of the GIS departments and groups have within their organization. So Allison, I know that she's a big leader in that group and she gets all the folks involved. So can you go ahead and give us some information about that?
Yes. So we like to invite out the emergency vehicles. So people bring in the mobile command trucks. We've had SWAT teams come out before, and they bring their robots that, like is shown in this picture, where they'll go out and do searches of buildings. It's really cool, and they explain to the kids. They really explain how these mobile vehicles are used for GIS, and a lot of the kids don't even know to put those two together. So it's really neat. We have people that come in from agencies from all over the counties. And so we're hoping that this year we'll be able to get some of these guys back out and really show how these emergency vehicles and mobile commands are used and show how the GIS is involved. So we're super excited again. So that's the mobile vehicles.
Excellent. Thank you, Allison. So with all the fun, we really do want to make sure that these kids know that there is a career path ahead of them if they're interested. And by way of doing that, we have what we call the academic spotlight, where we literally put a spotlight on academia by inviting all of the local colleges and universities that have GIS programs, GIS minors, GIS certificates, any of those things in the upper education area. So we have Lone Star, Stephen F. Austin, Sam Houston State, Texas A&M, and HCC, just to name a few. And to lead that effort, we have Sarah. Sarah, do you want to go ahead and give us some more information about the academic spotlight?
Yes, so we really want to just connect students with universities and show them the different paths that they can take if they're interested in a career in GIS and just the opportunities that are out there. And if you guys are high school teachers, then kids start thinking about college really early. And the more you know ahead of time, the better off you'll be. So we just hope to help them navigate that path if they are interested in studying GIS after high school. And so hopefully we'll have some colleges out there, and we will also be, as Nicole said, at University of Houston Clear Lake for the event this year, and they have a really great program. So they can also explore a campus where GIS happens every day, and where other students are studying GIS. So we just hope to connect them with those opportunities.
And a quick thing, Sarah, you went to UHCL, right?
Yes, that's where me and Miriam actually went there. So
That's right, Miriam.
we can tell you firsthand, they have a really amazing program, amazing professors, and it's really fun to study GIS. And even if you don't have a career in GIS, I guarantee that you'll use it in some way in any other field that you enter, because it's just really so prominent in every career field. So
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Sarah. Another bonus to bringing your kids is that lunch will be provided. So in the past, we've provided lunch for all the students and attendees, including the bus drivers and the teachers. So Brooks, did you want to kind of talk a little bit about that?
Save the best for last, right? Sure. Yeah. So an added bonus is yourself, the staff that you bring, meaning bus drivers and chaperones, and most importantly, your students will be given lunch for the day. It's typically been Chick-fil-A in years past. It will likely be that this year in 2022. And I know students love Chick-fil-A typically. So we will be providing that water and a place to sit and enjoy lunch with your students and your staff to kind of wrap up the day around the lunchtime time of the day.
Yes, good thing to bring up. So while the students are finishing up their lunch, we will start the closing ceremonies. But I do want to mention that even though in this picture we don't show it, but the lunchroom will have tables and chairs so they can sit down and be able to eat it comfortably. And we also provide lunches for any dietary needs. So Brooks, I think before, if there were any folks that required or requested a vegetarian, we would try to accommodate where needed, correct?
Yeah, good point. So for, obviously we don't put in the order until we know all the students coming, and we've had some dietary restrictions in the past, and we, if someone requires vegetarian meals or the like, we can certainly accommodate that. We just need to know ahead of time. And also, I forgot to mention the lunch is provided by the many generous sponsors that help us every year with GIS Day.
Absolutely. Yes. I got to remember to keep giving props where props are due. This event would not be possible if it weren't for our very generous sponsors. So, and volunteers, of course, but yes, in order to get the lunch and everything and the prize packages, we do rely on the generosity of our sponsors. So that pretty much brings us to the closing, where we announce the winners from the day's events, the geography games like Minute to Win It and the treasure hunt map haul. We announce the winners of the school that has won that contest. Allison will announce the geocache prize package winners. And of course, we will announce the GIS essay contest winners, which I haven't talked about yet, but I will get to that pretty soon. You will want your students to compete in our GIS essay contest, because look at that winning prize cash money. We provide a gift certificate for the first prize, second and third prize winners, with first place winning $300. So we do make that announcement at the closing ceremony. So hopefully one of your students, the student that wins one of these prizes, will be in the audience and will be able to accept their prize directly. All right, so are you excited yet? This is a great, we really have gotten some good feedback in the past. We have teachers that try to make our event and reserve their spot ahead of time each year because they see the value of this event and they know that their students walk away really happy and excited and even interested in being exposed to a technology that is so widely used, and it seems to be pretty exciting. So we really hope that this kind of excites you and prompts you to register with us. And if you are interested in attending and you think you can get your school to the event, please send an email to Houston Area GIS.org at gmail.com. Or you can sign up using one of the forms we have on our website. So if you go to HoustonAreaGIS.org, there is a sign up page for teachers right there on our website. So it's two ways to be able to let us know that yes, you are excited and yes, you want to attend our event. Even if you aren't able to attend the event this year, next year, if you're ready to go, let us know by signing up so that way we can keep you informed and we have your contact information. So when we start planning next year's event, you're on the contact list and you'll be one of the first to know. If you do register with us, you will need to arrange transportation to and from the event. So like we said, this year, the University of Houston Clear Lake is awesome. They have opened their arms and welcomed us and provided everything we could ask for in a venue for this event. So we are very thankful to the University of Houston Clear Lake for giving us this venue and this space to host the event. As you can see, it's located down by NASA, and we have designated specific routes for your buses to follow when you get down to the area, and we've actually designated a specific area for students to be dropped off. So we will provide all that information ahead of time. As soon as you register, you'll be on the list, and we will follow up with all the great details. So here's kind of a campus map showing where all of our events are. So you'll see here's the student drop off, and of course the main entrance to where the presentations and all the indoor events are, like the Minute to Win It, the keynote, the academic spotlight, lunch, etc., etc. The outdoor events include the emergency vehicles that'll be right by where the students get dropped off, and then the geocaching and the drones will be just outside to the north here. And we do also, just to go back to the buses, not only do we have designated bus routes and a designated bus drop-off location, we also have a designated area for the buses to park while they wait for you guys to finish your event. As soon as they drop off, we will have somebody there to direct them to where they can park. We just got to also make sure that they come in and get some lunch when it comes time for it. So if you don't think that you will be able to physically attend this year, don't worry, because we are planning to stream certain presentations and events throughout the day. So if you email us or you register to get, to subscribe and get notified about the event, we will make sure we provide all the information you need to be able to attend virtually, and maybe you can even show it in the classrooms. In 2020 and 2021, we actually did have some teachers set it up so that their class could come in, and he or she, the teacher, would be streaming our presentations so the students could take part in a live environment. And I do believe, Trevor, do you want to talk a little bit about how we will be moderating that, so that way if your students have questions?
Yep, I definitely can. So we're going to try a few different things this year since I think this is the first year where we're trying a hybrid approach. So all of our presentations are going to be live streamed, and we're going to have a moderator who's able to read any online questions that come through, and then ask the presenter. They'll be able to answer live, just as if one of your students was in the room itself. Hopefully with that, the student can ask you a question and you can type it in to the Zoom link. Additionally, sorry, I got temporarily distracted. We're also going to try to walk around and do some live streams at the emergency vehicles that Allison has worked hard on getting. We're going to try to do some showcases with the education part of it, the academic spotlight. We may even publish some of the Minute to Map It games, as well as some other virtual games. That way you don't feel left out if you can't make it to Clear Lake. You can still replicate some of our activities in your own classroom. Now, as for Brooks Map Hall, that's not going to be included at all virtual. Sorry, Brooks.
So as you can see, we're this is the first year, as Trevor mentioned. I'll kind of echo what he said. This is the first year where we're going to try the hybrid approach. So please bear with us if there's a lot of shaky cams or if there's any issues there. But we will provide you all the information ahead of time, so that way you can plan accordingly and get all the links needed in order to broadcast it within your classroom if you're not able to attend virtually. You'll also probably want to, if your students and you are not able to attend physically, but your students choose to compete in the essay contest, please watch the closing ceremony. That way you can hear whether or not your students won one of the prizes, because we will be streaming the closing ceremony. That way you can have access to that. And again, as a reminder, the winners are $300 for first place, $150 for second place, and $50 for third place. We will provide details regarding the essay contest, and I'll go ahead and read some of the things. So the student has to be a high school student in the state of Texas in order to compete in the essay contest. They should be a high school junior or senior, which is grades 11 and 12. The student must be sponsored by a teacher, so that's you. And each student is limited to only one essay. And the essay should be between 500 to 600 words in length. Teachers can sponsor up to 3 students per school. So you as a teacher are able to sponsor 3 students' essays. We do ask that you include, or the student includes, a cover page that includes their first and last name, email address, phone number, whether they're a junior or a senior level in high school. Of course, the school name, the school address, and the teacher's name. So your name should be on there. And this is also when the prizes are announced, and if they are not physically there, we can get those prizes to you. So the criteria for the essay, well, basically every essay submitted will be judged by a panel of GIS professionals that have volunteered to do this. They will be looking at the quality of composition, the appropriate use of the topic, and the creativity and originality of the essay. And based off of the criteria, they'll provide their grades, if you will, and that'll all be collected. And again, it'll be announced at the closing ceremony on the day of the event. All right, so since this is recorded, I don't think there's going to be any questions unless anybody from the planning committee, do you think there are any questions that we should address before we close this out?
I'll just say, this is Brooks Andrews with HAC. I'll just say thanks for your time and attention. We hope to see you at the event with your students, and hope you can attend and enjoy it. If you can't, obviously there's virtual options, and we'll be doing this for years to come. And thanks, Nicole, for putting this together.
All right, well, excellent. If there are any questions, please reach out at HoustonAreaGISDay@gmail.com or visit the Houston Area GIS Day website. And there's all kinds of contact information available on the website. I can provide a link to this, and I think we might even, if we want, Brooks, we could probably post a link to this presentation somewhere on the website as well. But I'd like to thank each of the planning committee team leads that have showed, Sarah, Trevor, Miriam, Allison, Brooks. This is all volunteer time that they're taking out of their day to be a part of this event. We have many more leads. We have Nick Humphrey, Grant Garrison, to name a couple. I'm probably leaving a bunch out, but we also have many other leads that lead things like logistics and marketing and so on and so forth. So our group is made up of approximately, I would say, 50 plus volunteers. And we're all very dedicated to making sure that you as a teacher and your students really enjoy the event and want to come the next year. So thank you for watching this presentation. I hope this convinced you that GIS Day would be a great opportunity, and I hope to see you there. Thank you.